Hi everyone, it's Peter and Eddie from PS Sound this time, because Eddie will have to explain to us what he's done on this old Range Rover in August while I was away. It was one of those crazy projects on an old car that we have for one of our clients. Some of you remember we had the 911. What year was that? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
70s probably. That was, no, maybe that was 80s. But this car here is coming to 50-year-old now, and it's gone through a full renovation, inside, outside, engine, air ride, everything, as well as now it needed an audio system. Let's start from the back. Let's have a look at what we have in there. There was plenty of space to work with. However, I think the tailgate is also open. We can drop it down, yeah.
Let's see.
Is the other way around? Is it right? That's it. Yeah, this is the era when car manufacturing was very different, and
I don't know how much of it is original of this of the interior. I think it's
true.
been, yeah.
Whether they had side panels or these are custom now, but there's a lot of room in this car. And we had different options. At the end, we ended up with that sealed enclosure in the middle that doesn't take too much space up, because we were looking at potentially having a side cavity, but then yeah, over there. But it just didn't want to work out visually this way. At least when you look into the car, it's symmetrical, it's tidy, it's clean. And we wanted to try this Wavetech 12-inch sub, because I had the opportunity to hear one of these in one of our meetings, local meetings. And it played very nicely in that given car where I heard it, and everybody's raving about these. So now we will have a few projects with these, and even in this car, it does a great job. And if anything, when it's done with the grille and the trim ring, it looks very tidy, very clean. But yeah, we will see how it performs in the next car that we're going to use it in, because that's going to be a more normal saloon today's car. Here, what we are experiencing is mainly the cabin, and it's hard to take much away from how the sub performs in this space that we can't compare literally to anything.
Maybe if you put it in a van, an open van.
Yeah.
But that's a lot longer. So yeah, there's probably nothing like this, because it's big volume.
Big volume, and the car is not so well sealed.
Yeah.
Like when you shut this rear window, it's not sealing the same way like new cars, and there are gaps around and things like that. But our job was to somehow keep the boot still practical, and I think that's been met. How big is the box, Eddie? What did you end up with?
Around 30 liters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I heard it in 16-liter only in an Audi, BMW 4 Series. Nathan has, I think, yeah. And in that one, it was performing really well. Even from 16, it was shockingly digging low. But here, yeah, we can't really check how low it can really go, because the cabin doesn't support it that much. But let's go to the front, because that's where we had to do something very different than in the past. Let's check it on this side. Yeah, because these cars...
I think originally this car didn't have door cards, or not those. From what I saw online, these are door cards from the 93 onwards model or something like that. I might be completely wrong, because I know nothing about those cars, but I know I ordered one of those door handles and it was from a 93 car, so that's all I know.
Yeah, because the company that builds these is in France.
In France, yeah.
Remember correctly. And they had a 5 1/4 there, they had a 4-inch coax there, and that was the previous system in it. And we had to bring it up to our expectations, but it's a similar project like the 911. In an old car, you cannot go crazy like most of the systems that we design, kind of like the competition level. But it was pretty obvious that we would have to go freeway, because that will give us a better chance to tune the car and still get great results. So we ended up with the Morel non-carbon MW6. Although over there you could even fit potentially a full fat size speaker, right?
Yes, there is room.
You had room for that.
There is an opening behind it. Yeah.
Although you had challenges, because now when it's done and it's finished, most people wouldn't know what went into it, because this surface is not flat.
Yes.
And that ring that now people can see all around, that's, yeah, I had a few hours of filling, sanding, priming, painting.
I wouldn't call it complex, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
more than
faff.
just...
Faff, because somewhere you have, you know, at least you had, what, 4 or 5 millimeter difference at places?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you put the speaker on it with a mounting ring, it would have gaps all around it. Top as well, that had the MW4, same nanocarbon shallow mid-range, and that needed printing and fiddling.
Yes, because the factory location is rather big. That's why I have this big ring around it, and it's a weird shape in there, so I had to make a converter ring so I can fit a 4-inch.
The only part that was easy probably was a tweeter.
Yes.
Because that was handy that it comes with that mounting solution, and then if you aim it right, it's just kind of, it's right. Because even on the other side, looking over there, we can see that it brings the tweeters fairly on axis into the cabin. And yeah, this way it came together really nicely. Even when I arrived, and then you had basic settings on the system, it sounded great already.
Yeah.
Of course, the only thing we cannot expect from old constructions, door constructions like this, to have amazing kick bass. Although the door would support it, but the door card, whatever they came up with, yes, it's not.
The fitment isn't great on them.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So
You got new clips, but you know there are gaps all around the door,
yeah,
and that doesn't support
the door
great
itself
kick bass.
isn't too bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The steel
Even-
itself is good.
Yeah. So this has deadening on it, but that doesn't. So it doesn't sound as congy as a new car.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
Yeah, they put material in these cars back in the day. They had more meat in them. Then what's happening here? So this car already came with this modernized, old school looking head unit from Blowpunkt, and it has micro SD, USB, things like that. I mean, if you pull it down, it almost looks like a cassette. That fits. Like, yeah, modern head units wouldn't sit here really well. Swimming dolphins.
Yes.
That was an error for that.
From 2005. Yeah. It does have a bit of noise, but we are not using it. It has, yeah, if you turn the volume up on the head unit, if you want to listen music through the head unit, it does have noise. It's not the best quality, but
That's
it's
what it
there
came with.
only as design piece.
Pretty much, and to turn the system on.
Yes, and phone calls.
Yeah.
And for that, because it has Bluetooth. Yeah.
That's good enough for that, yeah. But then we had to find space for the amplification, and Eddie managed to squeeze in. Now we are going upside down, guys, if I can squeeze the phone in there. So that's where we have the amplification. We have a Helix V8 Ultimate, the latest one, and you can see the Bluetooth antenna as well. That's what we had in the owner's previous car as well, so we can stream directly to it and maintain good quality from an Android phone, and use the aptX Bluetooth connection. And then on top of that, there is a Zapco ST1350 running the sub at the back with plenty of juice. So just simple as that. The only thing that we haven't shown is the back, and that's really cool. You have this custom seat. It's a bit of a party trick, 2-seater seat, and we also fitted rear feel. We ended up with these Stag SFF1 little, they call them Atmos speakers. These are technically, I don't know, 1.5-inch sealed little.
Very capable tutor, let's say.
Yeah, they have response from 350 in this small seal chamber, so it's happy to play from like 400 up, and it does the trick. It feels the back end. We have different presets, as always. We have presets if the owner has rear passengers, and then they can play running normal, left and right at the back, or we have preset where they run differential and they give more ambience, more 3D effect, 3D sound that P really liked in the Porsche as well. And yeah, simple solution. And
Simple, but not that simple.
Not that simple, because what's tricky in these cars is running cables.
Yes.
That's worth mentioning to anybody who has an old car. They think that, oh yeah, just put a few speakers in. When it's done, you would never think how much faff it takes to route cables, hide them, because there are no trim panels, no side cavities, nothing, just a really thin carpet. And somewhere you really have to be careful where you can run it. Everything goes back, everything becomes hidden, everything is safe. Yeah, that part is something that everybody has to consider. Yeah, but overall, usual DSP amp, monoblock, front, rear, sub, that's all it takes. And
it turned out better than I personally was expecting. I was expecting everything to rattle. It doesn't, surprisingly, yes. But don't know.
You know, to be fair, there are not many trims in this car that would come alive. Usually it's the plastics that rattle.
Yes, and the dashboard, it's exactly that.
That's what we were worrying about, but it doesn't. So that part doesn't buzz and rattle. The doors are okay, to be fair. They don't create noises.
I did isolate as much as I could.
Yeah.
But the door card itself is made out of foam, probably expanding foam, if I was to guess, looking at it. So, in itself, it isolates. Yes.
Yeah, less to rattle.
Less to rattle, less vibration transmitted through that. So, it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can see that, you know, nothing is quite so accurate like on new cars. But yeah, still, it's good.
I always said that if you look at a Ferrari from that time, it was the same.
Same, exactly.
So, considering this was supposed to be a work, like farmer's car.
Exactly.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. So we're not going to drag it. We just wanted to show this project to you guys because some people may have similar older cars, and we were talking about it with the owner why we don't get more old cars in UK. I don't know. Maybe some people don't think that a car like this can still have good sound, and then they can elevate the driving experience. They just say that, no, you know, it's a periodical car, just have it for what it is. But if you can make it better, a better driving experience, why not? And certainly there's a lot that can be done. So yeah, if you have a car like this, let us know. We can come up with an idea and then we can figure out what can be done. Yeah, that's going to be the end of this project. Now it has a long journey coming up. It may go down to Spain now. It's properly used. That's the thing. This car is not just a showpiece. This is used. It's going to do 1,200 kilometers now in one hit. And then it drives around Europe. They use it everywhere. So that's what cars are meant to be for, in theory. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Check out the description, guys. You will have links there to our Patreon channel where you can see behind the scene content. You can see how these projects come together. I'm going to have an RTA evaluation of this project as well, so you will see how these speakers work out in a cabin like this, what performance you can get from them, what response you have from those locations, and how a fully active system like this comes together. But for this one, this is it, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.